Summary of the Republic by Plato. A wealthy merchant called Cephalus invites Socrates to his home after a religious festival. At that place, Socrates joins a debate about what justice is with Cephalus, Polemarch, Glaucon, Adeimantus, and the sophist Thrasymachus. Soon, Socrates shows that Cephalus and Polemarch's idea of justice as telling the truth and paying what is due is not enough. He also shows that Thrasymachus' idea that justice is just doing what is best for the stronger person or people is wrong. But Socrates doesn't say what he thinks is fair. He wants to create an ideal city instead, one that will be just for everyone. Socrates thinks that they will be able to look at justice in a person once they have described a just city. Socrates thought that an ideal city would have social systems that set rules for family, behavior, and loyalty to the city, as well as education and specialization. Each person will become an expert in a certain job that the city chooses for them based on their skills and interests as kids. The city will do well if its guardians are educated. They will be protectors and leaders, so they need to be educated. It is illegal to write imitation fiction in which the author makes up the voices of different characters and imitates how people act. Literature should only show good behavior. The producer class is made up of people who will work as workers or craftsmen. Only the best guards get extra training to get them ready to rule. The other people from the first group of guards will fight for the city. People who are guardians share their wives and children. The kings will have very simple lives because they won't be able to touch gold or silver or own goods. The other people in the city will take care of their daily needs so that the guards can rule without being interrupted. Socrates then asks who should be in charge of the city. Socrates says that the mind has three parts: the rational, the hungry, and the spirit. This is to back up his claim that a philosopher is the best leader. In a good person, each part of the soul does its job, guided by reason, which keeps the spirit and appetites in check. The logical part of the soul should be in charge of the other parts, and the logical part of city dwellers, the philosopher, should be in charge of the soldiers and producers. For this to happen, either philosophers will become kings or kings will become philosophers. Thinkers are the only ones who can really love knowledge and truth, and they are the only ones who can see truth. Thus, Socrates tells the story of the cave as a metaphor. He says, imagine a cave where men are chained and in the dark. They think the shadows on the wall are real until one of them breaks out into the light and sees the real world. Later, the prisoner who was freed comes back and tries to teach the others about what truth is. The philosopher is the best leader because he knows that everything in the real world is just a copy of the ideal forms in the world of ideas. Because the philosopher knows about the forms, he knows more about everything. Because of this, the guardians need to know about theory as well as math and logic. When the guardians are old enough, they learn dialectic, which means the art of debate. Then, just as the prisoner goes back to the cave, the guardians start practicing being kings by doing work for the people. Philosopher kings will only be made by the best guards. Socrates talks about 4 types of cities and 4 types of people that are like those cities. He ends with the worst type of person, the ruler. In the last part, he looks at the ruler and shows that he is neither fair nor happy. Socrates ends with the story of Air, a soldier who dies but comes back to life and tells about the next world. He sees souls being separated into those who were greedy and must suffer and those who were good and will be happy in the next life. After the time they are given is up, souls can choose a new life. Socrates says that the soul is immortal because it can't be killed by death or evil.
About the author. Plato's early life and schooling are not well known. He came from a wealthy and powerful family. Around 404 BCE, when Athens changed to an oligarchy run by rich men, Plato was planning to become a politician. Once democracy was back in place in 403 BCE, Plato thought about politics again until 399 BCE, when his master Socrates was accused of being immoral and corrupt and killed. Plato turned away from politics and toward philosophy in response to this egregious show of injustice. He eventually wrote a large body of work that had a big impact on Western thought and gave the world a record of both Plato's philosophical ideas and the historical details of Socrates' important years in Athens. Plato started the Academy, a school of philosophy where Aristotle studied for 20 years. The school was inspired by many important thinkers who were interested in justice, beauty, metaphysics, and equality. After Plato's death in 348 or 347 BCE, Aristotle set up his own school.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.